What's going on, everybody? What's going on? So the Yankees, they finally speak. Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone had the end-of-season press conference today. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting a lot more of the same old, but we did get some breaking news out of this, right? Some stuff that we didn't know. Obviously, the Anthony Volpe shoulder surgery stuff, that broke already. I think Joel Sherman was the first one to report on that. Oh, excuse me. But so we got some more news from Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Apparently, look, let's start with the good news, right? The good news is Judge has some MRIs done. It's been determined that he's not gonna need surgery, knock on wood, right? Because the Yankees have told us a bunch of stuff before, especially when it comes to medical things, that have not been the case. So, but we're gonna take the good news for now. Hopefully that doesn't change, right? So he's not gonna need surgery. That means that he's probably gonna participate still in the WBC this off season, and then hopefully, you know, his arm goes back to 100%, and he can start off in the outfield and be the Judge that we know, you know, throwing freaking dots from right field. So that was some of the good news. Some of the stuff that we didn't know. Apparently, Carlos Rodón underwent surgery, a procedure. They had to shave down a bone spur in his left elbow, which is his throwing arm, and he won't be ready for the start of the season. So hopefully that doesn't affect him too much, because Carlos Rodón has been one of the bright spots of the Yankees this year, even though he kind of shit the bed there at the end in the postseason. But so he won't be ready for the beginning. Obviously, Gerrit Cole. I mean, we all knew Gerrit Cole wasn't going to be ready. He's definitely not going to be ready for the start of the 2026 season, and neither is Anthony Volpe. So the big news, right? The big talking points of this whole presser between Boone and Cashman was Anthony Volpe. And obviously they doubled down on the kid. They believe in him. Boone even went as far as to say, he's the starting shortstop, pretty much. He's gonna miss the beginning of the season though. So we're looking at maybe May, maybe June. He'll be back. And that's an opportunity right there. It's a window for Caballero to really play his ass off, or anybody who's going to be filling in for him and take that position from him. Me personally, I'm not buying it. The whole Volpe thing, I don't think his lack of production, I'm not gonna, give him the excuse of the shoulder thing. I get it. It probably affected him in some way, but as soon as you get on the field, whether you're hurt or not, that's on you. And offensively, he pretty much gave us the same stuff, the same numbers he's given us the last 2 years before that, right? And defensively, I don't think it really was a factor. And they even went on to say, that it wasn't a factor. It didn't affect his playing. And they said that early in the season. Here's the thing, right? The point is that the Yankees freaking lie. They lie their asses off, right? Because I remember, I forgot who versus who, during the middle of the season, Meredith, I can't even say her last name. Anyway, it was a post-game press conference, and she asked Boone, she said, "Hey, I see Anthony Volpe walking around with an ice pack on his shoulder. Is he all right?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's fine." Boone pretty much shows, yeah, he's fine, he's good. He looked at her like she was crazy. Like, why you bring that up? So it turns out he wasn't fine, which worries me, right? Because they literally just told us today that Aaron Judge is okay. But as we know, the Yankees have a history of blowing smoke up our asses, right? Like, let's be honest here. So I don't know what to take from this. To be honest, guys, I don't believe a word that comes out of any of these guys' mouth. I think they should both be out of a job, me personally. And it's going to be, look, nothing much is going to change. We're going to run it back 2026. Some of the same old stuff. Cashman brought up Cody Bellinger. He said they haven't began the talks. They haven't began negotiating contract talks with Cody Bellinger, which is I'm not sure the rules on it, but I'm pretty sure I think even if they don't want to announce stuff like that. They, especially baseball, MLB doesn't want no big signings or anything big to happen right now while the postseason is still in play, because it takes away from the spot. It takes the spotlight away from what's happening in Seattle right now and in LA with the Dodgers. So I'm pretty sure even this presser right here, obviously they had to do it, but I'm pretty sure there's rules on how they can navigate this. Once the World Series is up, then it's all hands on deck, and we should hear a lot more about who's signing where, trade talk, and all that stuff. Me personally, if I were the Yankees, I'd go out there and get another shortstop, right? I'd get another shortstop. These injuries, right? Shoulder injuries, like I've never had a torn labrum or anything like that, but these shoulder injuries, they linger. They linger, and let's be honest, right? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. He wasn't good to begin with, okay? For me to hang my hat on Volpe and say, yeah, now once they fix his shoulder, he's gonna come out and be the Major League Baseball player we all hoped he can be. It's just, guys, like, what are we doing? It's not realistic. It is not realistic. He's been afforded so many opportunities. I see Nando bringing up Dominguez there, and that's the thing too. Like, guys like Dominguez have not even gotten, not even a slither of opportunity like Anthony Volpe has gotten, and other young prospects too. I think it's time to move on, right? That's not to say that he might not find he might not be productive somewhere else. I don't know, right? But I think it's time to go out there. If you can get a shortstop that's decent, you go ahead and do it. You trade for it, right? I get it. Everybody thinks, to me, look, when you got guys like Jacob Wilson, Zach Neto, and stuff like that, right? And I get it. It's going to be very hard to trade for guys like that. But I really think it's possible. I think it's possible. Maybe not right now, maybe the trade deadline. But we didn't think Kyle Tucker get traded. Look, he got traded. We didn't think Mason Miller get traded. He was traded. There's a whole bunch of people that we did not think was possible to get traded. And everybody is tradable at a certain point, for a certain price. So I think they should go out there and really, really, and get another shortstop, man. Get another shortstop. Especially with the A's. The A's, they have the number one shortstop in the minor leagues, right? And I think his name is Leo DeVries. He's in Double-A right now, but he's projected to be in the big league ready next year. Leo DeVries, they picked him up in that Mason Miller trade. They got him from the Padres. He's the number one shortstop in all of minor league baseball coming up. So I get it. They got Jacob Wilson and everything, and I don't know, but there's a conversation to be had. I'm not in the belief that nothing. Everybody keeps saying, well, there's nobody you could trade for. There's nobody you could sign. There's nobody out there. They're out there. You can make it happen. If Cashman is all 30 plus years of experience, he can make a trade happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to have Caballero out there for the first month or two, and slowly but surely they're going to bring Volpe back, and hopefully, look, I'm rooting for the kid, especially if he comes back in pinstripes. I want him to be successful. I really do, but it's just not working out, man. This is 3 years of this, guys. Why should I believe that he's going to be any different than what we've already seen? Really? What is it? Like, I don't understand, and it's just going to be more of the same stuff, to be honest. It's really, it sucks, right? Because we still have 2025 isn't even over, and I'm already feeling like 2026 is gonna be more of the same Yankees. We saw it today. Cashman had the nerve to say we had some successes and some failures, and I'm like, I don't know what successes you're talking about. Which success? You didn't win the division, right? You barely made it out the wild card. And you got absolutely embarrassed by Toronto. Like, where's the successes there? The only success I see was Cam Schlittler making his mark. Aaron Judge obviously was a success. Ben Rice, what he's done offensively, I would consider a success, even though in the postseason he didn't do much. I mean, a lot of personal successes, but as far as an organization and as a team, I don't see. I'm sorry. I don't count making it to the playoffs a success. I just don't. 94 wins, but when you look at the wins between your division rivals, we've gotten smashed all year. So look, this whole end of season press conference stuff, it's a whole big dog and pony show. Let's keep it 100 here. It's a big dog and pony show. It's a check the box because they had to say something. The fact that Howe is not there is beyond me. Because he should absolutely be there. Right now, you have the inmates running the asylum, pretty much, and we have a absent owner. So who's going to be held accountable from the top down? Nobody's being held accountable. It's okay. As long as the dollars keep rolling in, everything's fine in Yankee land, right? Championships, who cares, right? They won the championship. When that bottom line, I promise you, I bet you this year they broke records. Last year they broke records. This year it's going to top last year. And everything is good. As long as they keep putting butts to seats, everything will be fine. Yeah, but, so the pitching, the starting rotation going into 2026 is it's going to be, all of a sudden it's a concern. What was our strength, right, that we thought going into 2026 was going to be a strength, the rotation. Now, all of a sudden, it's kind of a concern in my point, because we got Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Luis Hill, Will Warren, and that's it. Those are your four. Those are your four to start the season. And I always say, look, until a person is 100% healthy and they're back, count them out. Right? We just, like Carlos Rodón, he just had a surgery on his left elbow, which is his throwing arm. I always say, they say, he's going to miss 1 or 2 months. I'd give it half a season at least, So, Tatsuya Imai, are you the real Tatsuya? I help him say, Imai, because if you are, I wouldn't mind getting you right now, because we're looking like we might need somebody in the rotation to start the season. Imai is a Japanese pitcher, man. I'm not gonna say I don't think he's as good as Yamamoto, but the dude might be the next Yamamoto. He's up there with him. He is definitely up there with him. But let me get into the chat. Jacob's in the bill. What's up, Jacob? Landon Holder says, yeah, we got an easy schedule coming this year. This coming year, we got an easy schedule. There is no such thing as an easy schedule in baseball, right? In football, yes. In baseball, there is no such thing as an easy schedule. Hey, Katie. Yeah, Gerrit Cole won't be back till like the middle of the season, guys. And look, here's the thing, guys. If you expect Gerrit Cole to come back and be Cy Young Gerrit Cole, like I hope, right? I hope, but that's a lot of hopium right there. I don't expect that from him. Don't expect. It takes time, guys, to come back from Tommy John. They say not only does it take a year and a half to recover from Tommy John, it takes you another season just to really get back into the real groove of pitching. That's what's been said out there. So don't expect much from Gerrit Cole, and he's an aging guy. I hope that he is, but I don't look. The starting rotation is a concern, guys. It's a concern. All of a sudden, just like that, it's a concern. Once I heard Carlos Rodón was out, I was like, yeah, starting rotation might be a problem to start next year. It might be a problem. We got Elmer Rodriguez Cruz down there. Maybe he can do something. I don't know. We'll see. Cashman said it did affect him. It was Boone who said it didn't. Man, that's all, to me, it's all nonsense, man. The dude, so what was the excuse the years before that? Look, his numbers, if you pull up his numbers are pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is that this year he didn't play defense at all. And I'd argue that the years before that, his defense wasn't that great either. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. He's not that good. That's it. It's just plain and simple. He's not that good. There's no other way you could spin it. I hope he can get better, right? I hope he can live up and progress and develop into that guy that we need at shortstop. I'm talking about Anthony Volpe here. But right now, as it stands, he's not that good. He's not that good. He just isn't, you know? So what are we going to do? We just going to keep playing him out there and hope that and they said, well, he's still developing. He's only 20. Okay, he had 3 seasons. So what's the limit then? 5? Is it 6 years? At what point do we say, hey, this ain't working? You know, is it 4, 5, 6? At what point do we say that? And why wasn't Jason Dominguez offered that same leash, right? Because they gave him half the season and he couldn't figure out left field. And guess what? They sat his ass down. So, what is it? You understand what I'm saying? That's why, look, he's not that good, man, guys. I'm sorry. He just isn't. All right? I want him to be, of course I do. But he just isn't, right? You got to put Caballero out there, and hopefully he can do better. And even him, I don't think that he's a guy who could really take over as that starting role and be the guy we need. That's why I say if you can get somebody out there, if somebody becomes available, a shortstop that can handle that position, and there's one out there already. Ha-Seong Kim is one, even though I don't think the Yankees will do something like that. They're not, right? But what if a guy like Zach, what if the Angels were open to talking about trading Zach Neto? Because right now they're not even sure if they're gonna extend the guy. You know? Or the A's with Jacob Wilson, right? Who's a freaking stud. They have another shortstop right behind them who's the top shortstop prospect in all of baseball. Right behind them, who's expected to make it up here this year, and Leo DeVries or whatever his name is. They got him from the Padres. So right now they sitting on 2 shortstops who are absolute studs, you know? I'm just saying, the Yankees aren't going to do it, but if you can do it, if you can go out there and get somebody, you go get them. You go get them. Roy says, Yankees are a team that has time to develop young players. They're always in position to win the series. Yeah, you're right. He brought up Spencer Jones too, Cashman. We'll see what happens with Spencer. He didn't give me high hopes that he was going to really get a shot either. Real Bill says, I told you Rodón was hurt. The last time he pitched, he kept staring at his hand and flexing his fingers. Yeah, man. But now we got to look. Now we got to go out there and we got to worry about the rotation. I would say the rotation is going to be an issue, at least to start the season. Who's going to pick up that slack, you know? Can Spencer Jones play shortstop? Cabrera will be back. He's been long throwing, get ready to play. And you know what? And I'm going to be honest with you too, Real Bill. Cabrera's not that good either, guys. He's not. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you, right? I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I love Waldo. He's great as a utility guy. You can put him everywhere. Is he that good? No, he's not. Guys, come on. That's why we lying to ourselves, man. Let's stop doing this to ourselves. And this is what gets me mad with the Yankees, because they do it to themselves too. Let's be real, right? Let's really, really analyze these players and really be honest with ourselves. He's not that good either. He's not going to be better than Volpe. He's not. You're going to get more of the same. You know, you really are. You really, really are. Celia says, I agree with you. He's not that good. But the reality is they're going to keep throwing him out there probably the next couple of years. Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what. And we're going to keep falling short. And I understand, but it's frustrating. That's what frustrates me the most. It's like, come on, guys. Can we stop doing the same thing over and over? Can we try to do something different? Really? Like, let's freaking, like, when is enough? You know, they keep saying, well, he's still developing. Okay, like, how many years then? Give me a timeline. Let me know. Okay, after season 5, at least let me know after season 5, if he doesn't get better, we cutting ties with him. Because what upsets me is anybody else, right? This is what really bothers me. Is anybody else, they would have been got rid of them or sent them down. Anybody else. Nobody's getting that. Even on other teams. There's people on other teams that they're not going to give you 3-4 years to try to figure it out in the big leagues, you know? It's like, okay, maybe 1-2 years if you're a first round pick and there's a lot invested in you. But after 3 years, 4 years, it's like, all right, this ain't working out. It ain't working out. How do we expect to win? Really, how are we going to win? You don't win based on hopium. Right now, the Yankees are hoping, they're hoping that he can turn it around and be the guy that they thought they, but guess what? Guess what, folks? There's a ton of highly sought prospects, first rounders, who don't pan out. A ton of them. There's so many busts out there. At some point, you got to say, hey, it's a bust, right? Move on. Or keep suffering the same fate. And I hate it, man. Look, and I get it. Like, I wish, look, and that's nothing taken away from him. The fact that he made it to where he's at is an accomplishment. But come on, how every year after year we're gonna keep doing this? We're gonna keep doing this ourselves. How are we supposed to win like this? How are we supposed to win if we can't correct something that we clearly see as a problem for this team? We're just gonna keep running them out there. This is just crazy at this point. And the fact that how the Steinbrenner family, that somebody got to be paying attention to this. If maybe it's not how, but somebody, the sister, the nephew, somebody got to be looking at this and like, hey, what is going on over here? Like, what is happening? You know, the fact that even Boone is still around is beyond me. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Has been going on 9 years, bro. 9 years. My goodness. It's a freaking joke. It is a freaking joke. You know how many top managers that are out there right now available? Not only Bruce Bochy, maybe a lot of these guys are old, but you could bring them in. You know how many out there? The fact that they that they're not bringing back the bullpen coach and the first base coach, like it was his fault. We all saw Boone yelling at freaking Travis Chapman, whatever his name is, the first base coach, when whatchamacallit, when Jazz Chisholm made that bonehead move. Remember when Jazz Chisholm made that move? He for some reason he got doubled up on a pop-up to second base, and he was saying he was trying to make a play, and they made it seem like it was the first baseman's fault, the first base coach's fault. It wasn't his fault. Dude, shit like that, man. Like this team is a fucking joke at this point. Really, really. And I don't care what anybody said. You can say, well, look, when they come out there today, it's a whole bunch of, this is a big ass dog and pony show. I know when someone's bullshitting me, man. And that's why we just got a lot of BS today. And what are we supposed to do, right? There's nothing we could do. That's the frustrating part. There's nothing we could do. You know, and if you're like me, you love this team so much that you're like, my goodness. Come on, guys. Come on. This has been too long. It's gone on too long. Like, when does it end? When does it end, okay? When is it? So next year we don't make it now, wow, okay? We're going to do the same shit again? Like, when does it end, really? When? Is it 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 2 years? Give me a timeline so that I can know, okay, all right, if it doesn't work out by this time, At least we know we getting our change. When is it, right? So let's say next year we get embarrassed again. Or what are we gonna do? Okay, Boone's coming back? What are we doing? What are we doing? Are you gonna sit in front of us and act like it's all good? You're gonna act like it's all good. You're gonna act like you're one of the best teams out there. You're just good enough to make it to the postseason. That's it. After that, you guys, every year after year after year, you're an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. I didn't mean for this to turn into a rant, but it's just like I'm watching this stuff. I'm watching it and I'm like, it's just like, my goodness, man, this shit's never gonna end, man. This is the Yankees now. Guys, this is the Yankees. I'm sorry. It sucks, man. This is your New York Yankees. They're about to waste Judge's career. Right? They're gonna waste his and hurt his legacy because he's not gonna get that ring with these guys. And I hope I'm wrong. And we playing, this is like Little League, guys. This is Little League. This is what they do in Little League, right? It's like, oh yeah, well, we just like him so much. Oh, that's the coach's son. Oh, that's this guy's. There's a lot of nepotism, daddy bull. This is what this is. It's favoritism. We're gonna play this guy because I really believe, bro, this is professional baseball, guys. This is a job. If you're not good, you get out, right? This is what this is. They know this. This is professional baseball. This ain't everybody plays. This ain't you get a participation trophy. This ain't none of that. Okay? This is real life. These are grown ass men. Okay? If I'm not good at my job, if I suck at my job, I fully expect them to be, first of all, telling me like, bro, you suck. You need to get better, or looking to replace me. Right? That's how life is. If you're not good, if you're not doing your job, you can't expect to keep that job for too long. It's just crazy, man. This stuff is it's getting, I don't know. This team is very frustrating for me. Let me get back to the chat. Celia says, I agree with you. Oh yeah. Real Bill says, you finally got color in your face. It could be just the camera, man. Cole comes back thinking we need another starter. Yeah, I hope Cole is as good as we all hope he's gonna be, but I wouldn't put too much faith into that, man. I mean, and it's not his fault. He still needs to recover. This dude just had Tommy John surgery. It takes a year and a half just to start throwing again, and then you got to start getting a feel for pitching. It's gonna take time. Look at Sandy Alcantara. You know, he wasn't the same after, and everybody's different. So we'll see. I think the Yankees have more options in the outfield to sit Jason and Volpe because they didn't have many options besides Cabby, and they wanted to use him as a utility player. Yeah, but that's all bullshit. You know why, Jose? I'm going to tell you why that's all nonsense, right? Because what's the difference, right, of playing Volpe or playing Caballero? You play Caballero at short, right? And let's say you want to move Caballero to right field. Then you move Caballero to right field. And you put Volpe at short. Let's say, you understand what I'm saying? Let's say you have Caballero starting shortstop and you want to move him to third base. Then move him to third base. That's not stopping anything. The only thing you lose is that you can't bring him into pinch run. But Anthony Volpe, if there's one thing that he can do well, is he can run. You understand what I'm saying? It's a load of crap. Jose, don't fall for it, brother. I'm telling you, don't fall for it. That's a load of mierda. That's straight caca coming out of Boone's mouth. That they want his versatility as a utility player. Okay, you still get that even if he's starting. Right? You still get that if he's starting. Because if he's starting, you say, okay, you know what? We need you to go play right field, or we need you to go play second base. Anthony Volpe, go in, you shortstop. Caballero, you move over to second. You see what I'm saying? It's the same shit, bro. It's the same thing, man. Yeah, man, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, and I knew this was coming. The propaganda machine, the 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 gaslighting and the bullshit and the lies. Oh man, this is what they do best. These guys might as well be politicians. I'm telling you, they might as well be politicians because they're full of shit. And I feel bad, man, that half the fan base are like sheeple and we just follow this shit, man. I was like that too, not anymore. Now I'm like, and after so many years of this, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. When you start thinking about it, you're like, wait a minute, you know, even this whole thing of this whole notion that they like Caballero off the bench better. Why? He could do the same thing starting. What's the difference? Really, what is the difference? Think about it, guys. What is the difference between Caballero starting and off the bench? How does he give you more value off the bench? Because he can run, but if there's one thing that Volpe does good, is he can run. So you get that same. If you want Caballero to be a pinch runner, well, guess what? You don't lose much by having Volpe as the pinch runner instead. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's all bullshit, man. That shit gets me so mad. It gets me heated. It makes no sense. Really think about it, guys. Really think about it. You understand what I'm saying? Trust me. Like, look, there's one thing I know is baseball, bro. You're not gonna lie to me in my face and tell me, oh, well, we like Caballero off the bench, and you don't even freaking use him off the bench like that. If you like him off the bench so much, why don't you use him so much? You don't even do that, you know? You get the same thing. Whether Volpe starts, whether you start Volpe or you start Caballero, you still have a great pinch runner and you still have a great utility player that you can use. It's plain and simple. It really is. Michael King, yeah, he's gonna be a free agent, but he's that dude's got some injury problems, man. So I don't know if whoever signs him, man, you gotta get that physical in check, man. You know, Yankees don't, our medical staff, man, I don't know what's going on over there. Let Oswaldo go and use Cabby as a utility. I love Real Bill, man. Appreciate it. I love Caballero. I love Oswaldo, right? And I think he's a great utility player. He's a great player, but I don't think that he's gonna fill the role of a starting shortstop, a starting and really, satisfy, give you something better than what you're getting. I don't. And I like him a lot, man. But he has some stuff that he got to work on too, offensively and defensively. That's how. And and look, I'm just here. I don't know, man. Today I think I got some truth serum in me. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Enough is enough. I'm gonna keep it real. And this is how I feel. I could be wrong. I love Oswaldo. I don't think he's that good, right? To be a starting shortstop for us. I just don't. Same thing with Volpe. I don't think he's that good. Right? Same thing with Peraza. I don't think anybody got produced by the Yankee system. I have almost zero faith in them that they can actually do the job of a big leaguer. And until I'm shown something otherwise, then that's what it is. I would try to get Trevor Story. He has the option to opt out of his contract. Yeah. Steinbrenner family too busy on yachts. Rubo says there are tens of thousands of good players that never get a chance. Volpe got this. Time to move on. If we don't, we will have a hole in the shortstop position. And my thing with Volpe, man, is just, look, it's like, it's just not working out, guys. Man, I really have little faith that he's gonna come back and wow us and do something, and we're gonna be like, this is what we were always hoping for. Okay, right? Especially that he's coming off of an injury. All right, year 4. And then they're gonna say, what's gonna happen year 4? They're gonna say, well, he was coming off an injury, so he was still recovering. Okay, now what? Year 5? Like, okay, so at what point do we say, look, it didn't work out? It didn't work out. It's okay. It happens all the time. You know how many guys, like I said again, who get drafted in the top rounds, top picks that don't pan out? And I get it. The Yankees invested a lot, and especially first rounders, there's a lot of money and resources invested in these guys, and a lot of jobs too are on the line. Because when they draft somebody, trust me, a lot of people got to vouch for this guy. It just didn't work out though, man. That's what I'm gonna say. It's because Boone is a puppy. He listens to the front office. That's all that matters. Yeah. Hold on. Eric D, what's up, man? Boone was scared to tell Jazz because Jazz might not invite Boone to his birthday. Boone, I don't know. To be honest, it's like the thing that I'm frustrated with the most. And don't get me wrong, next year I'm gonna watch this team and I'm gonna root for this team, and I'm gonna root for Boone, and I'm gonna root for Volpe. But deep down, I know I'm gonna get more of the same. I don't know if is it just me? Do you guys feel like that too? Deep down, you're like, man, we're gonna get more of the same next year. We're gonna run it back. The same, nothing's changing. The philosophy is gonna still be the same. I really even feel like when Caballero might start the season, let's say, for instance, Caballero does start the season as a starting shortstop, and let's say he's playing actually good, like he's pretty good. I feel like even then they're gonna slide Volpe in there and say, because Boone didn't say hey, it's gonna be a competition, or we'll see, or if Caballero plays good, then we'll, maybe that's his job. He didn't say anything like that. When they asked him, he said, yeah, like he sees Volpe as the starting shortstop. Meaning as soon as he becomes healthy again, no matter what whoever's filling that role is doing, he's gonna go right back into his spot. Guys. And I hope that he can be better. I do. I hope I hope if he's listening, I hope you make me eat my words. Please make me eat my words. But it's been 3 years and I haven't ate them since, so make me eat my words. And I will publicly apologize and say I was wrong. Something that the Yankees can't do. They can't admit they're wrong. They're going to do whatever they can to be right. I thought this team was on the wacky weed sometimes. I anticipated a cloud of smoke coming from the dugout sometimes. Oh no, that's Jazz. Jazz is definitely smoking weed. I'm 100% sure that dude smokes. He smokes some weed. I can almost guarantee it. If you look at the people he's chilling with, and hanging out with, yeah. This isn't the only podcast being critical of the organization. Someone needs to listen. Trump used listen to podcast audience and one. I mean, look, these guys, man, they're better than us. That's how they see it, That's how they see it, really. All of them, the Yankees front office, even guys like Michael Kay and all these dudes, they look at it. They look at a guy like me, and they look at me like, what do I know? And you're right. These people should know more than me, right? They should know more than you. They should know more than all of us. Yet they're so stuck in their arrogance. They're so stuck in it that they just don't know when to just move on, or when to admit they were wrong. They really don't. They would rather lie. They would rather fabricate a reality for themselves to justify the shit they're doing. Really, man. They're I don't know. And it's clear as day. Guys, let me tell you, if you don't know, right? If you don't listen, I listen to other podcasts, like other fan-based podcasts. I listen to a lot of stuff. I watch all these player interviews and these players that go on these podcasts in the off season. I watch a lot of stuff, man, and even like the kids, right? Like, cause my son is young and he plays sports, and the Yankees are we're a joke, guys. If you haven't noticed, all right, we are a joke. We are the joke of baseball. We have been for quite some time, and I'm starting to see it now more. Even in the youth don't. Most young kids, you think we're breeding Yankee fans? A lot of these kids, man, they're like winners, guys. Most Yankee fans, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of younger youth that are Yankee fans, but most Yankee fans, not like when I was coming up in the 90s when they were winning, that's how you get fans. Most Yankee fans are older. The Yankees are losing this young generation. They're losing. My son is a Yankee fan because I am, right? But even him, he looks at these other teams like they're more exciting. They're much more exciting to watch, you know? They really are. You know, he looks at the Yankees like they've never won to him. He's like, whatever. You know, who cares? If the Yankees really wanted to make money and do business, winning is the best business you can do as a sports team. You're going to create fans. You're going to create customers for life when you win. Customers for life. Just, something to think about. Frank says Boone will be there until he has won more regular season games than any other Yankee manager and still wouldn't have won a World Series. Yeah, and his postseason record is not that good too. Boone keep a hurt, underperforming Volpe, and over a healthy cap. Yeah, because Boone, look, let me tell you something. That's one thing I give about. You notice how Boone said one thing, Cashman said another thing, right? I believe Boone. I really believe Boone. Boone said the injury didn't affect him at all, right? He sucked because he just sucked. Cashman is saying, no, the injury was affecting him. You see the difference there? This is not the only time this has happened. Early in the season, remember, Boone said Judge is not going to be able to throw 100% from the outfield, at least for the rest of the season. He's not going to be 100%. Judge said, what is he talking about? He hasn't even seen me throw. But which one was true, right? Then when we finally saw him throw, he wasn't 100%. I really believe Boone. I think Boone is telling the truth on that. The same way he was telling the truth about Judge not being able to throw. He was telling the truth. Judge was lying. Cashman is lying here. I really believe Boone is telling the truth that, hey, Volpe, this really didn't affect him. It was on him. So we have two different things being said by two guys, right? Who's running this team. Frank says, Keith McPherson of WFN says, don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We're not stupid. Well, let me take a bite of this. I'm hungry, guys. I still might come on tonight. I just wanted to get this off my chest because I was pissed. I'm watching this and I'm like, really, guys? Come on, man. You're gonna just lie to our face? Like he said, don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. Come on. Yeah. Willie G says, yeah, but look at how much your payroll was a hangover from past mistakes. You're not wrong, man. Cabby should be insulted. Boom, basically saying a hurt Volpe is better than. Man, look, I really don't think that. Me personally, I don't think. I believe Boone when he says that injury it's not the reason why Volpe didn't perform. I really believe him. What time am I coming on tonight? I'm gonna try to come on. What is it? Probably like 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna try to come on. Aaron Boone said Aaron Boone needs some weed time with Jazz. No, man, Aaron Boone needs to just get the hell out of here, bro. Look. let me tell you something, guys. This guy is no good, bro. He's whatever philosophy, whatever they have, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, guys. Look at Carlos Mendoza with the Mets. The Mets need to get rid of his ass too. He's from Boone. They're the same kind of guys. Like it doesn't work. It doesn't work, guys. What are you gonna fire? Fire the whole coaching staff? They're really gonna fire the whole coaching staff and not look at the manager and be like, hey, all these guys work for you, Boone. You, Mendoza. You know what I mean? Like, and I truly believe that, I'm talking about the Mets now, that the only reason Mendy has a job right now is because David Stearns. Because I really believe Steve Cohen wanted to fire his ass. If it was up to Steve Cohen, because Steve Cohen's the type of guy, he wants results. He's involved. He's not like Hal. He's in there. He's in the stadium watching the games. The only reason that dude got his job is because of David Stearns. And when you look at it, right, half their coaching staff, well, not half, but a bunch of them, like their pitching coach, you know, their manager, Mendy, these are guys who all came from Boone. Do you understand me? They came from the Yankees. They came from the school of Boone. That's what we're going to call it. The school of Boone, and they're no good, guys. They're no good. And I'm sorry, guys. I get it. Look, you give me $300 million, you give me the roster that he got, and I've never managed a team. I've never even coached a team, and I could give you 90 wins. Right? You give me that team with that talent and that payroll, I'll give you 90 wins. I'll take you to the postseason. I'll get you there. Like, that's expected. When they say, well, look at his record, and I'm like, yeah, bro, but he's had the top three payrolls every single season he's managed. You understand what I'm saying? Top 3 payrolls every single season he's managed, 8 years, and he's not won anything. Right? Give him the Brewers. Let's see if he can take the Brewers. See where the Brewers are at now? Put him on a team like that and see if he could get them where they're at now. That's when you really know if it's a good manager or not. You have over $300 million every single year. Every single year. Not only that, the Yankees have the most resources as far as pitching machines and trainers and all even the spread, the food they get is better. The plane I'm sure they flying is better than most teams. They have way more than everybody else. And still, we can't win. You know, and at some point, I get it's not all on Boone because the players got to perform and everything. But at some point, you got to look at the top. You got to look at them and be like, hey, it's your job, right? When you're a manager. Let's say if you're the manager of a restaurant, right? You're the manager of the restaurant. It's your job to run the show, to put on good customer service and good food and everything, right? If not, right, let's say it's terrible and you fail inspections, you're the manager of a restaurant and everybody goes, this restaurant freaking sucks. You think they're going to blame the busboy? You think the busboy's getting fired? You understand what I'm saying? You think it's the waiter's fault? No, they're going to look at the manager like, bro, oh, ma'am, you're in charge of this. When you're in charge of something, anything that happens, it's on you. It's a reflection of you. You know, I was taught that in the military, and I'm looking at the soldiers under me, and I'm like, damn. But at the end of the day, I got to take it on the chin because guess what? I was in charge, right? I'm the one in charge. So if we don't get it done, then I'm the one who's to blame. So I don't know. NYYJ says, my son was looking back at stats from 2009. He was like, wow, the worst average was like 270. Yeah, and I get it. The league has changed a little bit, but I think it's because pitching has gotten so much better. But that's why now more than ever, you need guys who could put the ball in play. And I get it, right? Home runs win games. It does. But if you don't hit the ball, period, if you're swinging and missing, you're not gonna hit nothing. You're not gonna hit home runs or nothing. If you put the ball in play, if you make contact, there's a chance that that ball's gonna go out. Especially when dudes is throwing 98, 100 miles an hour. They're providing you with all the power. If you put the good part of the bat on the ball, a lot of times they give you the power. It'll carry. It'll go out. It will go out. So when Joe Sherman, because I was listening, Joe Sherman specifically was like, well, home runs win games, home runs win. Yeah, but what he fails to realize, right, is that you can't hit a home run if you can't hit the ball. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't hit the ball, if you're swinging and missing, literally swinging and missing, then what home run you going to hit? Bro, you got to hit the ball first. That's the first thing. You got to make it. It's not playing pepper. And these guys, these days, these guys throw so hard. They throw so hard that you don't have to put much power into it. You really don't. If you time it up real nice and just put a decent swing, 70%, like Jazz said, remember when he started doing 70%? He started hitting a lot better. You don't have to swing as hard as you can every time. That's what the Yankees do, though. They swing as hard as they can every single time, and they just have no control over their barrel, and they just missing balls. But if you're just showing that up and just put the bat on the ball, you'll be surprised. A lot of those, especially in Yankee Stadium, they turn into home runs, guys. They turn into home runs. But there's no approach for these guys. It's just swing as hard as you can and hope you run into one, you know? And eventually you will, but that's all they're doing. You know, especially guys like Volpe, Wells. Yeah, a lot of these guys, when especially a guy like Wells, a lot of times I watch his at bats and you can tell that he predetermines he's gonna swing. You know, like before the boys even pitch, you can tell that he's in swing. Like he's gonna swing, which is wrong. You should always, every pitch you should be ready to swing, right? Every pitch is a swing until it's not. That's how I see it anyway. Especially when they throw a 97 to 100, you better be on swing mode every time until it's not. But I feel like with guys like Wells, he literally goes up there and he's like, I'm swinging at this one, like that after that bases loaded first pitch swinging, right after the walk in the ALDS. You can tell that he went up there and he said, I'm swinging at the first pitch, regardless of where it's at, what is thrown. I'm swinging at the first pitch. And hopefully it's a fastball down the middle. You know, I don't know. It's a lot of guessing going on up there. Let me see. My Yankee 7 Marrero says, great work. You tell it like it is. You tell it like we all see it. Appreciate that. Nah, man. I mean, look, I'm just I'm not gonna lie, man. I didn't want this to be a rant, but it's to that point where I just like, the one thing that I hate the most is like, losing is one thing, right? Of course we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose, but obviously we understand that we can't win every year. Like it's not possible, right? You're not gonna win every time. But when after year after year, after just embarrassment, and we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, like it really gets, I'm exhausted already with this. It's over and over and over. Same stuff. Like, what are we doing? What are we really doing? Like, as a fan base, what do you want? Like, you like, did we do something wrong as fans? For real, man. How? Where are you? Did we do something wrong as fans? That we deserve this? That you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over? After we clearly seen, like, okay, it doesn't work, guy. It doesn't work. How many more years? How many more years? Right? How many more years we're gonna do this? Whatever analytics, like, and I'm a believer in analytics, but there's the biggest analytic, the most important analytics are these right here. These are the most important things, right? And even those you gotta question, right? Because sometimes you think you're seeing something and you're not. And what's more important than this is experience. Experience, man, is the best teacher. Like they say, experience is the best teacher. You can't tell me like, and that we've experienced this now 16 years, right? If you like me, and there's some people in this chat, some of y'all in this chat been watching this team 55 years. I seen somebody not so long ago. He told me he's been a fan for like 67 years or something like that. I'm like, my goodness, come on. Look, there's nothing new under the sun, right? And especially in baseball. Baseball is one of the sports, man. That's why it's the greatest. It's always been the same. Like the way they played it 100 years ago is the winning formula today. And why are we changing this stuff? Jazz swings the same each at bat. If bat manages to hit the ball, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you swing as hard as you can and hope that you run into one. It's all I hear from conferences. It's all in the front of us and excuses after excuse after. Man, all I hear from this team, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even hear excuses. I hear a bunch of bullshit, man. That's what I hear from this. I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, man. Get it done. Right? Something ain't working out. Look, I get it, right? Some things it ain't always gonna work out. That's okay. Like I understand the whole Volpe thing. I do. Bro, they signed this dude. He's a first round draft pick. They took him over guys like Gunnar Henderson. A lot was invested in this guy. And they gave him what? $5, $6, $7 million, whatever it was. A lot of money, resources, commitment, right? They chose him over other players that panned out. So a lot has gone into this guy. I get it. So I understand why it's like, okay, he's gonna get a longer leash. He's gonna get a longer leash than somebody like Ben Rice, for instance, right? Who was a 12th round pick. Probably got a signing bonus of like $5,000 or whatever it was, Than a guy like Volpe. I understand that, but it's like, all right, guy, we're going into year 4 now. We're going into year 4, and the fact this guy is hurt, he's gonna come back. He won't even be here for the opening day. And the fact that you literally double down and say he's the starting shortstop. That's what you told us. He's the starting. Like, my goodness, what did he do to earn that role? Like, if he would have said, look, we'll see when the time comes, that's what kills me. If Boone would have said, hey, we'll figure out when the time comes, we'll figure it out. I would have been okay with that. I'd be like, okay, that's him not saying, but he clearly said, yeah, he's our shortstop. That's telling you right there that no matter how demoralizing that is for a guy like Caballero, right? Who's probably like, yeah, I'm going to get a shot. I'm going to finally get my shot. Right? Because he's been a utility guy, a bench guy his whole career, I'm pretty sure he said he grew up idolizing Jeter and Mariano Rivera, these Yankees, right? So he's like, I want to be the starting shortstop. And he's probably think he's finally going to get a chance. And for them to flat out say, yeah, even though this guy sucked the last 3 years and he's hurt and he's going to miss probably a month or two, he's still our starting shortstop. Before anything, they didn't even give him a chance. They didn't make a competition. They didn't say, hey, we'll see. If Caballero plays good, then we'll reevaluate things. They didn't even say that. They just flat out disqualified any chance that Caballero could be the starting shortstop. So why? Why? Who's the shortstop in AAA right now? I don't even know. All right. Somebody let me know. I bet you whoever's the starting shortstop, the next guy up in the system, it's probably like, what the fuck? Please trade me. Please. I'm never going to make it. This guy, they obviously never going to move him. Whoever's in AAA right now is looking up in the big leagues like, yo, I'm never going to make it up there. I'm never going to make it up there with this team. Just trade me to a different organization. Trade me to the Washington Nationals. Trade me to the Milwaukee. Trade me to the Colorado Rockies or the Chicago White Sox. I don't care if they suck, but at least I'll get my shot. You know what I'm saying? And the Yankees, bro, If you a shortstop and you behind Anthony Volpe, even George Lombard Jr., even him, they talking about he's going to be third base. That's why they playing him at third base and stuff. Even he's got to be like, damn. Look at Spencer Jones. Oh, he's done. Look what he did last year. You think he's going to get a shot? They'd even make it. I hope he gets a shot this year. But even that, they didn't, Cashman didn't instill any confidence for me that he's going to actually be up here, man. I don't know. Jake says this is going to be the starters on the team. Rice, Jazz, Caballero, McMahon, Wells, Jones, Dominguez, Stanton, and Judge. Yeah. No, but that's the thing, though. It's going to get worse, though. That's opening day. As soon as Volpe comes back, you can take Caballero there. You're going to put Volpe, right? As soon as, who knows, man? If, let's say they bring back Grisham or whoever, right? Let's say they don't love Dominguez. Let me tell you something. The Yankees don't love this kid. They don't have a lot of faith in him, bro. I'm telling you. Look, don't look at what the Yankees say, right? Like, they all had a whole press conference. Forget about what they're saying. We already know these guys are full of crap. They're full of sugar, honey, iced tea, right? They're full of that. Look at what they do. Right? They all say, yeah, Dominguez, yeah. How do they play Dominguez? They don't even play him. They don't like the guy. They really don't. A lot of these guys, man, they even Caballero, the fact that they're like, well, they like him off the bench, that's nonsense. Let me tell you something. That is nonsense. He gives you the same stuff he gives you off the bench. He gives you it as a starter. The same thing, right? You want him as a utility? Guess what? You can move him anywhere you want, right? Even if he's starting, you can move him anywhere you want. It's the same thing. Yeah, Caleb Durbin was lucky to get traded to Milwaukee. I'm telling you, man, all these guys, if you coming up, and Spencer Jones is going to feel it too. Let's say he balls out in spring training and he doesn't even make the roster, I promise you, in his mind, he's like, just trade me. Just trade me. Even last year, right? Last year, if Spencer Jones was on any other team, almost, he would have got a shot. The way he was playing, like he went on that hot streak that was just like historic, right? Down there. Any other team, they would have called him up and he would have got his big league chance. But this team, no, because this team, they play the games, man. They play the favoritism game, and they play the options. They manipulate your options. They manipulate your service time. They love that stuff. They love it for everybody except one person, right? There's only one person who doesn't get that treatment, and that's Anthony Volpe. Everybody else gets their service time manipulated. Everybody else goes through that except Volpe's the only one. He's the only one who's never went through that. He's the only one who's never come up and then got sent down, especially after not performing good. Judge is different because Judge was Judge, right? The only one that no matter what they do, they don't get sent down. They don't get benched. They don't, nothing, nothing. There's no consequence. There's nothing. Everybody else in professional baseball, even Jeter said it. Jeter said he's always playing for his job because he always knew that there was somebody right there behind him. That's how professional baseball is. You could be a number one pick, right? That's all good and great, and you're going to get more chances because more resources are provided for you, were invested in you. But guess what? Every year they do a draft. Every single year. And if you're not cutting it, they just signed a whole bunch of draft picks from college and high school, and they're coming up. It's a dog-eat-dog world in professional sports, especially baseball with the minor league system the way it is. If you don't perform, dude, you get got. They clap you. You're out of here. That's how it's supposed to be, but with the Yankees, it's different for some reason for certain players, right? Certain players get that treatment where it don't matter what you do, you know? It don't matter what you do. They also have Aaron Judge by the balls. He didn't even know. He didn't even know. Put an opt-out clause in his contract, so he can't even leverage leaving. Yeah, man. We got lucky with Judge. At the end of the day, this is why, like, even when Judge, like, when he, like, last year when he didn't perform, I tell people, look, the fact that Judge is still a Yankee is it's because Judge really wanted to be a Yankee, right? Because he could have took a lot more money somewhere else. We all know that already. He was offered more money. Um, yeah, there's no opt outs and stuff. I think Hal screwed him. He really did. I know Judge kind of deep down. I know he kind of regrets it when he's seen guys like Vladdy getting 500, Soto getting 700. If he had an opt out, he can opt out and he could get $1 billion. Judge, the way he's that big, you know. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure, but it is what it is. He made the decision. He signed the contract. There's nothing you could do. But I'm pretty sure he's like, damn, I should have made them put an opt out in there. You know, especially if you're not winning. You're not winning. You know, so I know we like to give Judge a lot of heat, but at the end of the day, man, the fact that he's still a Yankee, man, is because he wanted to be a Yankee. Plain and simple. It wasn't for the money. It wasn't for anything else. That's why I say he deserves a ring. He deserves a ring. And this team, like, this is what I'm looking at, right? This fucking guy right here. Look, this guy and Cashman, they unfortunately, man, he has those two. Unfortunately, man. Sucks. I don't know. Can they do it? I hope so, but the way they're going, man, they do not instill enough. The fact that they think that they're good, they think that they did good, like they had a successful season. The fact that they think that they had a successful season tells you that these people have lost their freaking marbles, man. Like, what are you talking about? Successes. Cashman said we had some successes and we had at the end, ultimately we failed. No, dude, it was a complete failure, dude. What are you talking about? You're not going to address the fact that you went to almost 3 months. You were the worst team in baseball for 2 months. For 2 months, you're not going to address the fact that you cannot beat any of your division rivals, that you got out just destroyed by Boston and Toronto the entire season. And the only reason why we beat Boston is because Cam Schlittler saved you. Let me tell you something. Cam Schlittler and Jazz Chisholm Jr. saved Boone. They saved Boone. We only made it out the wild card series because of those two players, Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Cam Schlittler. That's it. Without those two, we get eliminated in the wild card, and now we're really looking at Boone. But Boone's job is not even in question. It's not even in jeopardy because of Jazz Chisholm Jr., because of that great first to home play. Remember that one when Wells is a double or single? He scored on a Wells single. First to home, the great slide, right? And that diving play. Remember that diving play he made in game 3? Or was it game 2? It was a diving play up the middle. And then Cam Schlittler obviously just pitching a freaking gem versus Boston. If it's not for Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Cam Schlittler, we really, the narrative on Boone would be a lot different. He didn't do anything in that series. If anything, he hurt them. Because remember, he benched Jazz and he benched Rice for whatever reason. The game 1 was a freaking clown lineup. A clown lineup in game 1. So, I'm just saying. Wilkins says Jazz sucks. Yeah, but Yeah, well, cause well, if you replace Boone, who would you get to replace him? I don't care. I literally I'd get a freaking cat to replace him. I'm telling you, bro. You get anybody. You get anybody. It don't matter. There's a lot of guys out there though. The dude from WFAN, the guy who does the show with Tiki, the other day, he had a whole list, and there's a bunch of guys out there. I'm talking about Hall of Fame managers, winning managers that are available right now. Um, but even then, it doesn't even matter. The thing is that we need change. We need change. We need change. Let me tell you something. The easiest thing the Yankees could have done. This is what gets me upset, right? And I hate. I'm not calling for nobody's job and stuff like. But I am though, right? It's okay. Boone will be all right. He'll be all right. If he gets fired, I promise you, he's not gonna be on the welfare line tomorrow. Okay, so he's fine. He'll get another job somewhere. He'll be okay. This dude is not gonna be homeless if he loses his job. All right. So let's stop with that narrative, that whole, oh, you get somebody's job. What would you feel? Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. These guys are millionaires. All right. Look, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Ah, freaking. Yeah, so my thing is this. We need to change, right? The easiest thing they could have done, right? Let me tell you something. If Cashman would have came out there today, if it would have got announced today that they're gonna, that Boone and Cashman or Aaron Boone and the Yankees have decided, to part ways or whatever. Let me tell you something, man. This whole entire fan base, you would have got us so excited for next year. You would have got us so excited for next year. Just the fact that it's like, okay, they're willing to make the tough decision and do something and change something, right? But the fact that none of that happened, what change? What change we got? They called up the hitting coach from Scranton up to the big leagues. Okay, and I think that was a contract technicality. They had to do that. Um, you know, you fired the bullpen guy. Like, what the hell does he? He's been here for 1,000 years. He's an old man. What is he gonna do? So the bullpen was garbage because of him. That's what you're telling us, right? The bullpen was garbage because of him. Okay, whatever, right? I highly doubt it. And then you fire the first base coach. Like, what did he do? What did he do? How many people did he send to second that got thrown out? Versus Luis Rojas, how many people did he send home that got thrown out? Understand what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense, man. This team is ass backwards. And they literally just, those are the sacrifices they made, those two guys, So they could say, hey, what are you talking about? We did make changes. That's what they're saying, because they'll be like, well, you guys didn't change anything. Everything's the same. Like, what are you talking about? We did make changes. Don't you see? Look in the bullpen. That guy's not there no more. Look on first base. That guy, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, but those are the two people that probably have the least impact on this team got fired. It's freaking, you can't make this shit up, guys. Yo, these guys, it's comical at this point. They should make a show. Like The Office. They should make a show, but it's just the Yankees. They should make a comedy show. It's the Yankees. Oh man, it'd be hilarious. It'll be freaking hilarious. As long as Cashman and Boone are there, I don't expect much. Just rinse and repeat. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. They're making changes. Yeah. What's that Tupac song? I see no changes. That's how I feel. Bullpen coach contract was up, Jason. Oh yeah, so they're not bringing him back though. That's the same as getting fired, man. Because I'm pretty sure they want to come back, but they don't want him back. That's the problem. Get rid of these guys, man. I'm telling you, they need to get rid of Boone and Cashman. I don't know. He's gonna be there forever, I guess, but I have no idea what's going on. So crazy, man. I love the energy of Jazz, but he's not a long-term option. He may care about winning, but he doesn't seem like he wants to put the extra effort. into the thing with Jazz, man. He's got all the talent in the world, man. That dude has more talent in his pinky than I have in my whole body. But it's up here with him. You don't have this. He's a little too immature still. But once he figures that out, man, there's no doubt in my mind that he's one of the top guys in the league. But he don't have this here, man. He doesn't. Scapegoats, yep. A says, I really wish the Yankees didn't extend Boone and waited to see how the season played out. They think Boone would have got snatched up, but nobody wants him but us. No, my thing is, it's okay. Even if he gets snatched up, he gets snatched up. Let him get snatched up. I'm sure somebody will give him a job, maybe, you know. My thing is, look, it ain't work out here, okay? The same thing with Volpe. Volpe might go to another team and play really well. And then people will be like, oh, we should have. I'm like, dude, it wasn't going to work out here. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just can't. It doesn't work out where you at. And I think that, I don't know. I would say this about Boone, man. I'd like to see, if you're a real good manager, I want to see you with a team that's trash, you know, and see what you can do. Let me see you with a $150 million payroll and see how you can handle that, you know, how you manage that team. We don't have time to wait for Jazz to figure out to be mature. I agree with you, man. I agree. Jonathan, what's up? Volpe has one more year. If he can't improve, I will move on. I would have moved on last year, even before this year. I was saying it before this year. Guys, go back. Before the season started, I literally said, Volpe, he ain't it. He ain't it. I was telling people before the season started, he ain't it. But right now, we got no choice because we didn't have nobody else. But now we got somebody, and I wouldn't say he's much better, but he's better, right? And they won't even play him, you know? So imagine if Cashman was the GM of the Pirates or Rays, he'd be on the streets. Yeah, man. Give him to the Mets, they would take him. No, they got Boone 2.0, and that's Carlos Mendoza, and they starting to hate him. They're the same philosophy kind of guys, man. Same kind of guys. Yeah, that's yeah. You missed the whole hour rant. That's why I was upset. The thing that makes me more upset is that the fact that they said, like, they didn't even say like, hey, it's a competition. They didn't even say like, hey, if Caballero plays well, then we'll see. They didn't say none of that. Boone flat out said, yeah, he sees Anthony Volpe's the starting shortstop. I'm like, how do you just told us, right? He obviously had a bad year. His last at bat of the postseason, you had a pinch hit for him. You literally pinched hit for him. You sat him down at the end. This dude struck out so many times. You know, you just told us that his performance wasn't because of his injury, right? This is what Boone said. And then when they asked you if he's the starting shortstop next year, you just told us that he's not even going to be there for the first month at least. You said, yeah, he's the starting shortstop. Like, what? You didn't. No competition. No, hey, we'll see, or we'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. None of that. He flat out said, yeah, he's a starting shortstop, and then went to proceed and say, look, he's only 24 years old. Most guys getting drafted his age are not even in the big leagues yet, right? And went and made a whole big excuse for it. And I'm like, bro, he should be even better then. He should be better than that then. I don't know. To me, dude, he's not that good, guys. I'm sorry. That's me. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And maybe he proves me wrong in the future. I hope he does. But I've been seeing him from year one. From year one when I saw him, I was like, he's not that good, guys. He's not that good. Maybe some more minor league time will help him. He's not that good. It's just flat out. It's plain and simple. He's just not. He's just not, guys. And it's sad. I don't know who's the starting shortstop for our AAA affiliate team, but I'm pretty sure that guy must be sick to his stomach. He's never going to make it. And he's probably better than him. You know, and I don't know. I look at a guy like Jackson Holiday, right? Obviously he wasn't. I don't know. Volpe was a first round pick, but he wasn't first overall. I don't even think he was the top 10 overall. But a guy like Jackson Holiday was the top 10 overall. He's better than him, and he's from high school, straight from high school. Gunnar Henderson, who was drafted in the second round after Volpe, is better than him. This I don't know, guys. I don't see what they see, and whatever they see in him, I don't see it personally. Let me know if you guys see it. I don't see it. I think he could be better, but even then, even if he could be better than what he is now, his ceiling isn't that high. You know, it really isn't. His ceiling isn't that high. He hasn't been able to make the adjustment in 3 years. He hasn't been able to make the adjustment to the big leagues. He's actually regressed. His arm is not strong enough to be a major league shortstop, and to compensate for it, he has to play panic shortstop. Like, he literally has to rush everything to compensate for his lack of arm strength. He's not that good. Just plain and simple. He's not that good. He's 100 times better than I'll ever be. But in terms of big league, he's not that good. And guess what? He's the worst shortstop in all of the major leagues, right? The worst. Oh, I don't know. Crazy, man. Crazy. I don't even want to think about Volpe. Reality is the team is going to look the exact same next year, minus Grisham and potentially Bellinger. They're going to suck. We need Oh yeah, man. That was a real bill, I think. We need some freaking guys who that's why I like McMahon. I like McMahon, right? Because he stepped up in the playoffs and his defense is solid. But I meant to say I like Ahmed Rosario. I hope they bring him back. I really do, because that dude, he's a gamer, man. For some reason, like, I feel like when he's up there in a big spot, I feel like he's gonna come through. Like, I have confidence in him to come through in a big spot. I get it, he's not the greatest, right? But what's he gonna cost? $3 million as utility? But here's the thing: we can't have 10 utility players either, right? But me personally, I'd rather have Ahmed Rosario than Oswaldo Cabrera. If I had to choose between the two, I'm taking Rosario. And I love Cabrera, man, but I don't think he's that good. Offensively, he's not that good. That's just me. Whereas Ahmed Rosario, I feel like, man, he could do damage, right? In a pinch hit situation or any situation. Cabrera, yeah, he plays a whole bunch of positions and he's a switch hitter, but he's not really that good in either side of the plate. He's not, man. So yeah. Woken hates everybody on the Yankees. This dude. Jay Snow says the Yankees were built to win. 162. Blue Jays were built to win every day. The Yankees' offensive stats were so inflated off bad pitching this year. Sign Tucker, but my thing, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not that high on Tucker either. I'm really not. I think he's a great player. I think he's slightly better than he's better than Bellinger. But is he $15 million for more for 10 years better than Bellinger? That's where I'm like, I don't know. Right? This is where I'm like, I don't know. Because even a guy like Kyle Tucker is he's good, don't get me wrong, but is he worth $40 million for 10 years, right? Is he just, that's what you got to ask yourself. Is he worth that kind of money that they're asking for him? And that's why I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is. His stats don't tell me. Yeah. Let me see if I got this up here. Do I? Oh man, I don't have it. I don't have it up here. Oh well. But I had like the comparisons between like the playoff numbers. Him and Cody Bellinger, their stats are almost identical. Tucker's better offensively, and but I don't know, man. Son about Kyle Tucker. I just have a bad feeling. It's not a contract for 10 years, man. That could really blow up in our face. But I do think that at Yankee Stadium with a judge behind him or in front of him, it will help him a lot. It helps everybody, right? Um, but I don't know, man. For the amount of money that he's gonna cost, I don't know. You're looking at one. You're looking at 1 October. You're looking at one. I'll pull it up for you, man. If you don't believe me, hold on. You can't look at what I'm talking about career wise. Career wise in October, their numbers is almost the same, man. They're almost the same. You're looking at one year. That you're basing your decision on 1 year. Look, I feel like, don't get me wrong, if they get Kyle Tucker, I'm gonna be happy. Of course, I'm gonna be happy, but I don't. At what point? Let's say they sign him $400 million for 10 years. Are you guys gonna be happy? $400 million in 10 years, and what if he doesn't perform like we expect? You know. Damn, I'm trying to freaking pull this thing up. I do think. Look, I'm not saying that Cody Bellinger is better than Kyle Tucker. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for hundreds of millions of dollars of more, is it really worth that much? You know, that's what I'm saying. Is the difference between the two players worth $200 million? That's what I'm asking. Like, you feel what I'm saying? There's no doubt in my mind that Tucker's a better player, but not by that much. He's the better player. But it's not like leaps and bounds, like he's so much better than him. That's not the case, you know? Look, I'm going to prove you wrong right now. I'll pull it up right now for you. Hold on. Where's it at? Anyway. All right, look. This is career stats, right? This is their career stats. Look, and then again, I'm going to say Kyle Tucker's the better player, but is he $200 million more better? You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, bro. I understand you have the numbers, Woken, but everybody don't have the numbers, so I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up the receipts, bro. I know, I'm going to show you the don't worry, we get into the postseason. Slow down. You want to go? All right, look, this is the career postseason stats. Right? And like I said, Kyle Tucker's the better player, but is he $200 million more better? You see what I'm saying, bro? That's what I'm saying, Woken. Is he $200 million more better than that? When you look at it, right, almost the same amount of plate appearances. You know, there's an argument to be made for both sides, man. Both of them are not that good, right? When you see a 660 OPS and a 692 OPS, I'm not jumping for joy off of 30 points on the OPS. You understand? So Walker says he wouldn't pay $100 million for Cody's October stats. All right, but would you pay $100 million for Kyle Tucker's stats? Not $100 million, because he's gonna demand a lot more money than Cody Bellinger. That's what I'm saying, dude. What I'm saying is both of these players are good players, right? One is clearly the better player. Kyle Tucker is clearly the better player. There's no doubt about it. But is he that much better that you really is he $200 million better? That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm like, I don't know, man. If the price, I don't think it is worth it. You know, I don't. Even Bo Bichette. A lot of people want Bo Bichette. I don't want Bo Bichette either. I don't want him. I don't want, but don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but you tying yourself into a lot of money on a guy who can't seem since 2021, I think, or for the last 3 years, he hasn't been able to play a full season. He hasn't been able to play a full season, you know. Jason says, you want to give Belly 5 years? I don't, but if you have to, look, my thing is this, right? I think the Yankees, and I think this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to retain Bellinger because they rather keep the guy they know. We already know what we're going to get. We know how he's going to be in the clubhouse. We know the players know him. They love him. The trainers know him. The clubbies know him. The people I think this is how they're going to see it. And they're going to look at the stat. They're going to look at the numbers. They're going to be like, there's a difference. There is. Tucker's better than Cody Bellinger, for sure. But is he that much better? That's how they're going to see it. Is he that much better that we have to go crazy, you know, and spend all this money? And also, they're going to look at the injury history too and be like, oh, you know. So you got to take all that into effect, man. But I don't know. Me personally, if it just came down to the player, right, take money out of it. Take the money out of it, right? If it was just, who do you want? Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker? Of course I want Kyle Tucker. Of course. Right? But I'm trying to think as in a business-wise, it's like, okay, right? All factors into consideration. It's like, man, is it really worth it? You know? Is it really worth it? That's all I'm saying. It's like when I got my car, right? And then they had the upgraded one, the one a little bit above it. I'm like, well, what's the difference? Because they look the same. Well, what's the difference? They were like, well, the price is, this one is $20,000 more than yours. I'm like, yeah, but what do I get for $20,000? What do I get more that this one doesn't have? You know? And it's like something so minor. They're like, well, you get heated seats and air conditioning seats. I'm like, well, I could live without that, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't spend just to spend. Like, if you're gonna spend $100 million more on a player, I expect a lot more from that player. You know, that's what I'm saying. The same thing. Like, and I'm using that analogy as for a car, right? If I have two cars that are the same car, same exact car, but one is $20,000 more because it has an extra feature. Maybe it has freaking heated seats or whatever it is. That's it, really. I expect a lot more if I'm paying that much. That's all I'm saying, man. Sheila says, I mean, I guess the question is Dominguez going to be better in October? I know Belly didn't show up this year, but it just seems like no Yankee is good in October. Yeah. I wasn't happy with Bellinger this postseason. I really wasn't. His approach at the plate wasn't good at all. Where's my dog? Yeah, I didn't like it. But I don't know. My thing is, there's not a lot of options out there. I like Kyle Tucker a lot. I've always wanted Kyle Tucker, but I'm weighing everything, man. I'm trying to be. I don't think he's the answer for this team. I don't think he is. I don't think Cody Bellinger is either. We know that Cody Bellinger isn't, but I don't know. We'll see. I think the Yankees. What I think they're gonna do is they're gonna go after Bellinger first. They're gonna talk with Kyle Tucker too, and see. But if it gets a little too pricey, they're not gonna even entertain it. They're just not. It's just not. Tucker isn't going to hit 233 when he's batting next to a guy hitting 500. Yeah, but we don't know that, man. That's the thing. All your arguments, Welkin, are based on speculation, dude. It's all speculation. He could do worse. What's not to say that Tucker comes over here and does worse? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. Like I said, between the two players, I'd rather have Tucker. If it's just a player, but when you're talking about money, when the business is involved with the money, positions, especially the fact that Cody could play first, it you know, it leaves it's a lot more options, a lot more things you can do with a player like Cody Bellinger. To me personally, right? I like Kyle Tucker. Don't get it twisted. I want the Kyle Tucker over Cody Bellinger so bad, right? As the trade, when it was a trade, it's different. So I don't care. But now it's like, okay, we're talking about cap space, and I get it. A lot of money's coming off the books, but you got to look into the future too. You don't want man. Just imagine you tying yourself a $35 million AAV, 35 to 40 million for 10 years for a player. It's a lot, man. It's a lot of commitment right there. For a guy like Tucker, it's a lot of commitment. Let me tell you something. You sign a guy like Tucker, you sign a guy like Kyle Tucker, it better work out. It better work out. You understand? Where if you bring back Cody Bellinger, you want it to work out. You hope it work, but if it does, it's like, you only got a few more years left and everything. A guy like Kyle Tucker, man, that is a franchise player. Like, you signing him to a long deal, a lot of money, man. You putting all your chips on his table, man. You're betting everything on him. I could see a team like the Giants, maybe. And I don't know if you want to go there as a lefty, or I don't know, maybe even the Mets. Maybe, we'll see. And the bidding could get crazy for a guy like that, man. The bidding could get crazy. How much you willing to pay Kyle Tucker? You tell me that. Like I said, Kyle Tucker's the better player, but at what price do you get value out of him anymore? They're the same. No, actually, Kyle Tucker's younger by like a year and a half. Cody Bellinger's older than him by like a year and a half. Something like that. Walker says, I'd rather overpay $150 for a product that works. Yeah, but that's the thing though. But you don't know that it works. What are you talking about, dude? You're basing your stats on one postseason with like 12, not even that many at bats, dude. You're basing your stats on one postseason that neither one of them did great. When you look at the whole body of work, when you look at all the entire collective numbers, if you're talking about October, because I know that's what you're talking about, Wilkin. When you look at that, you kind of look at it and you say, damn, it's not that great. Neither one of them is that good. But one costs $150 million more than the other. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Look at these. These are postseason stats, career postseason stats. And this is what I'm saying. Kyle Tucker's the better player, but he's going to cost you $150 million more. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at that postseason. I'm showing you their postseason career stats right now. I'm showing you it. There's no doubt about it. I keep telling you, Kyle Tucker is better, but is he $150 million better? I don't know. Me personally, I think you bring back Bellinger. You stay with Cody Bellinger, right? Hopefully he wants to be a Yankee so much that he's willing to work with us. That way the AAV doesn't get too crazy. And that way it leaves some room for other moves, maybe next year, son. I haven't looked at next year's free agent class, but I don't look. My thing is that none of these players, right? Not Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger is going to save the Yankees, right? They're not. None of these guys is Juan Soto. They're not. Kyle Tucker's not I'm going to say way, but he's better than Cody Bellinger, right? But he ain't the guy. He ain't going to push us over the edge. I don't think so. We need more work than that. He's not going to push us over the limit. So that's why, unless there's a guy who's really going to move the needle, that it's like, unless there's a guy's like you get him, you automatically freaking favored to win the World Series. That's different. I don't get, for me personally, I don't see that in neither one of these guys. So therefore, I don't go crazy for them. I'm not, me personally. If they were to get him, I'd be happy. Okay, yeah, great. You know, if they didn't, I'd understand it too. Either way, one of these guys got to be a Yankee next year. That's what I'm saying. One of these two needs to remain a Yankee. You know, that's my opinion, man. You don't have to agree. But that's how I see it. I'm happy McMahon can play defense, but his bat, his cheeks. I mean, he was the only one really that did good in October. I think his bat could get better, man. It has more upside, but you're right though. His bat is cheeks. It's definitely cheeks, and he needs to get better. But it ain't. I don't know, man. I tell you what, he was the only one really that showed up. He's the only one really that showed up. Like, I don't know. McMahon was not a problem with me. The whole postseason, I was good with him. In fact, he was the only, he hit the home run in Game 4 versus Toronto, and they boomed. The only guy who did something that day, besides Judge later at the last inning, the only guy who did something, they pinched hit for. Make that make sense. They pinch hit for him, but they wouldn't pitch hit for Volpe or Wells, right? This is what I'm saying, man. Like, I would trade Spencer Jones. I would trade Jason Dominguez. I would trade anybody. Nobody's untradeable to me. There is no such thing as an untradeable unless you're proven. Nobody's untradeable. Even Ben Rice is tradable to me. All of these guys are tradable. If for the right person, for the right player, everybody's tradable. For the right player. Everybody not named Aaron Judge. Right? I think they should trade. You know, the way it's looking, right? The way it's looking is there is no clear path. There's no role that Spencer Jones could play up here right now for us. That could all change, right? But if that's the case, then you might as well trade him. He's done all he can do at this point with Spencer Jones. At this point, he can only lose value. You're only gonna hurt his value. So either you bring him up here and he's a big leaguer, or you trade him. That's how I see it. You can't do the same thing you did with so many other guys, man. But anyway, guys, man, that's gonna do it for me. I gotta go pick up my daughter right now. Yeah. I mean, look, it's gonna be interesting to see what the Yankees do. The one thing that we could all agree on is they gotta do something. And you know, there's one thing I would say, and I'll leave on this, especially for Woken. The one thing though that I would say with the whole Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker, because I do agree Kyle Tucker is the better player, right? That's obvious. There's no denying that. My whole thing is just the amount of money that he's gonna command is kind of crazy. But you never know. It could be different because he did have a down year. I don't know. We'll see. But I would say this though, at least a guy like, let's say they got Kyle Tucker. Let's say the Yankees signed Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger moves on. At least it'll be different. It'll be something different. Something to look forward to. Something for hope. You know. But we've already seen what we get with the Yankees with Cody Bellinger, right? And that's why I say I know that Cody Bellinger alone is not going to change the Yankees, right? I don't think Kyle Tucker either could change them that much, but you never know. I haven't seen it yet, right? So it could be. But if you're going to give somebody $400 million, it better be. Like, you understand? That's a bet, man, that you cannot lose. That has to work out. And that's why I feel like the safe play is just get Cody Bellinger back, in my opinion. But yeah, they love Tucker. We all love Tucker. They want them. We all wanted him from the Astros. When the Cubs got him, I was here saying I was mad at the Cubs. I felt like they Like they stole him from us. And then we got stuck with Cody Bellinger. And I was mad that we even took Cody Bellinger for the Cubs because I felt like we were doing them a favor, you know, by taking that money off of their books. But that's neither here nor there, man. You know, it's a new year, a new day. We'll see. I don't think Kyle Tucker's the difference, man. Even if they sign Kyle Tucker, they got to do more. That's the whole point. They got to do more. He ain't gonna be the difference. I don't think he moves the needle that much. All right, that's what I'm saying. Like if you spend $400 million on a player, especially when you have Judge and it better move the needle a lot. You know, a lot. So we'll see. But anyway, folks, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna try to come on later tonight, probably like around 8 p.m. Eastern time. If not, I'll come on tomorrow for sure. But I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for joining, and you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening, man. Take care, guys. Peace.
That fifth inning done broke my soul. I was sitting on my couch wearing pinstripes with pride. Game 5 on the line, got that Bronx fire inside. But the fifth inning came and it tore us apart. Dodgers lit us up, now I'm here with a broken heart. Vibe turned cold. Then Gerrit Cole froze like his fire done rolled. A 3-run double like a ghost from days of old. Now I'm sitting here mourning in pinstripes and gold. Wow! That fifth inning blue struck out my hopes. Now I'm drowning in the booze.